Can Elevate answer? Let's try and find out. Game 2 coming at you right now. It is going to be Elevate again in the first pick selection immediately
Susanoo.
with that Susanoo ban.
No more Susanoo for chaotic purpose. He's been such a big threat with this god, just ping-ponging between solo, mid, doesn't really matter where he is. He's going to be looking for those pulls, and that's going to set up Coviiii quite heavily, no matter what god he is.
Zeus going to be banned away. Elevate clearly don't want it themselves. Also don't want to hand it over to Coviiii, and I can't say I blame him. Though Serket going to be banned away by my guys. This leaves Thoth open. We've seen Coviiii play it before. Is DoctorL comfortable on this god, and his new role in the middle lane is a big question mark.
There's a lot of options available. Taking the flex Ymir pick away from my guys between Wolves and Brochacho. Nice idea here. You know, obviously that could be a flex for Elevate as well.
Izanami going to be locked in, most likely for Transonics, so we could see that in the middle lane for Coviiii. Been seeing a little bit of Izanami in the mid lane, but with that Thoth, that answers that question. Izanami going to Transonics, and Coviiii going to be piloting that Thoth. And that's scary. I mean, this has been a perma-banned mid laner.
Oh, yeah.
Coviiii picks up Isis that hasn't really been played a whole lot in professional play as of late and does that to you, and then you give him the best mage in the game. That's scary.
I want to see Chaotic Purpose whoop out the Naja, set up Coviiii yet again with some of these wombo combo ultimates. Obviously, Thoth takes quite a while to charge his ultimate, but what better hang time than the Naja? Odin is going to be able to do work here as well. You're looking at the side of Elevate. They don't have any escapes to get over that cage. There's going to have to be a Phantom to alleviate that pressure.
And Phantom got a pretty big buff coming into Season 4, totally. Now does a lot more than it used to. Makes you knock up immune, which isn't relevant against my guys' composition quite yet, though it could be later on, as well as 40% crowd control reduction for your entire team. That is a ton of crowd control reduction. I mean, the Dark Portal's only going to silence you for a little bit. That stun from Coviiii is going to be basically irrelevant at that point.
Also, the slow is going to get mitigated from Odin, so you're looking for more than just the stuns or the silences. It also is going to eliminate some of these soft CCs that could also lock you down potentially. My guys, picking up the Hun Baz for the Fear No Evil paired up with the Odin Cage. There's going to be a lot of potential pickoffs, especially on the Geb. You're really trying to focus down the support in the early game before his shield is a factor and before his itemization gives him enough health and protections to survive these kills.
Elevate has a lot of excellent team fight control with this composition. Ymir going to be in the jungle for oBoronic. Tier for McWaffles in the solo lane, one of his better gods, now playing underneath the name of Delnyy. Ares going to be the last selection there for Brochacho. That's typical Chach, man. He sees Tier and he just wants to chain him, man. He just needs it.
It's not only the Tier. You're looking to stop the Geb from rolling out. He could potentially look for that Blink Cataclysm play, and then he's going to be a sitting duck trying to want to go to that backline to peel for the rest of his carries. And with those Ares chains, not going to be able to really do so. You're thinking both offensively and defensively if you're the side of Brochacho.
Poseidon, DoctorL needs to be wary of this Ares pick because he's the only one that doesn't have a CC immune on the side of Elevate. And between the Fear No Evil and the No Escape, he's going to have to be very wary with his positioning. Like I mentioned, oBoronic on this Ymir in the jungle. He's gone for the Mark of the Vanguard start right off the bat. And I really like that selection for him, Tully. Up against, again, 2 Bluestones, this time in the solo lane and in the jungle. Going to mitigate a little bit of that damage, give him that tanky sort of feel in the early game, and then allow his amazing base stats and low cooldowns to kind of carry the load offensively.
And that's the whole point of this Ymir jungle. You're relying on that Frostbite passive. Whoever you hit with the Carpet, with the Freeze, you're going to get 100% additional in-hands, which is also why we saw Wolves pick up that Witchblade earlier on, giving you additional attack speed to synergize with that passive. But either way, it's going to be very important for Elevate to get out to a good start, making sure they don't fall too far behind in the early game. My guys, if they get any sort of lead here, they're always going to be able to run the table on you, just stripping away every single buff and then slowly choke you out.
This is the guy I'm really looking at to make an impact in this game, Tully, is oBoronic, because you see 3 members on my guys are going to be able to get over that wall in the jungle fairly easily, but Coviiii and Brochacho, they will not be able to. So if he's able to find some game-changing walls in the jungle, we saw how impactful they were for Wolves last time around. That could be the opening that Elevate needs to try and split this series up.
And because we see oBoronic pick up that Mark of the Vanguard, he's not as impactful during the lane clear, which is why we're seeing more pressure here. Elevate, they're looking to play aggressive. Chaotic Purpose has to concede this blue buff as there's 4 people here from Elevate.
Kenshin just immediately paired up with DoctorL in the middle lane and gets that pressure, able to clear out their speed buff and the blue buff of my guys. Excellent identification of the weaknesses of my guys' draft, their early game clear, specifically in the jungle in the mid lane, not particularly strong.
But we see whatever My Guys gives up on the right, they're going to get back on the left. Already stripping away both the purple and the red buff. They still have their own to take additionally from there. As long as they don't give up too much pressure, they're still going to be on par. Considering they got the left side mid harpies and now they're going for the oracles, they're looking to be in a pretty comfortable spot here.
Michael Checo had a pretty solid game in game 1, I would say. As far as, you know, his team was losing the entire right side of the map pretty consistently. Seemed to be pretty comfortable on the Medusa, though we did drop a kill on Transonics the one time we checked in with him. But we've seen a lot of Anhur as of late, Toli. How do you think this matchup plays out against the Izanami?
Against the Izanami, you really want to be able to disrupt her before she uses her escape. It takes a little bit of a channel time. You have a couple options here. You could impale her away. You can also look for the jump to be able to engage on her, but we're going to look for an engage from My Guys. They're making the rotation in the duel lane.
Checo's got the jump and immediately going to try and use it. KhaoticPurpose not in range to slow him down with that somersault. Brochacho just being a bully, making sure Checo knows who the real boss is in this duo lane. Finally, on the right-hand side, Delnyy and oBoronic going to be able to secure their own blue buff. Basically even, like you mentioned, both teams sailing away opposite sides of the enemy jungle.
With the jungle being down completely like this, it's not a bad idea for Brochacho to make these kinds of plays in the duel lane, wrapping around behind. Now he's good on the chains, hits the one, and that's all he really needed to do to force the beads.
I don't know if Brochacho makes that loop if Checo doesn't laugh at him after he misses the first chain. If this thing, he's like,
maybe.
All right, bro, I'll show you who. Yeah, you can laugh all you want, but your purification's down.
To be fair, there literally is nothing to be taken in the jungle side, so there's no rotations for Brochacho to really make here. He's level 4, he doesn't have the no escape, so rotating mid at this point is not the best thing to do, so you might as well do this sneaky play by wrapping around underneath. Without any vision here coming from Elevate, this Ares support becomes much more valuable.
A little bit of an experience lead for Elevate. You got all 5 members sitting at level 5, all got those little blue diamonds signifying that their ultimates are up and ready to go. KhaoticPurpose and Wolves just now hitting level 5 each. Brochacho still waiting for that no escape potential. Once he gets it, I'm imagining he's going to go to that left-hand side and immediately look for Michael Checo, knowing that he's already forced out that purification.
That's something that Brochacho does quite consistently, which is why we see Transonics hitting level 6 while Checo is still level 5. He's been able to sacrifice his own experience to make sure his hunter gets in a more comfortable position. Now we see Transonics finishing off that Transcendence.
Wall right there on Brochacho. Kraken immediately knocked up as well. The Whirlpool, the Shards of Ice, and that's exactly what I was talking about. oBoronic makes it happen. First Blood goes the way of Elevate. Delnyy forces out the purification from Coviiii in the jungle as well with that Fearless. Final Judgment not quite enough to steal away that speed buff, I don't think. No, he did get it, and then the Fear No Evil on top of oBoronic. DoctorL locked in a cage in the front side by Wolves. Coviiii trying to do enough damage, but the Fearless is good from Delnyy. Finally, Coviiii able to pick up DoctorL. Lawbringer not quite there in order to peel away. Looks like Coviiii did secure that speed buff for My Guys, as well as is able to pick up that kill for DoctorL. Big plays out of the mid lane.
1-for-1. Trading support for mid lane are favoring My Guys, but it's not done yet. oBoronic is very low. He's proceeding forward, but KhaoticPurpose is here.
Oh, look
alongside
at
Brochacho. He's going to be looking for the no escape. There is no Lawbringer.
No Cataclysm either, too. Pulled back in immediately into the Bird Bomb. Delny's going to fall. Kenshin not going to be able to, is going to be able to escape rather. Not too worried about that flame damage. Brochacho comes back with a vengeance after taking that first blood.
Somebody's got to be the sacrificial lamb, and Brochacho is more than comfortable being that person in charge. He sacrifices his life for a better target as DoctorL did fall, and then he just makes a rotation anyway. It's like, well, you know what, guys? This team fight is not over yet. I could still be impactful. I have more mobility here with the Traveler Shoes to be able to get back in position, and without those ultimates from both the Geb and the Tyr, those CC immune ultimates, that was 2 easy targets to find the pull.
And that's they're lucky that Kenshin was able to escape as well. Just a lot of damage coming very, very soon for My Guys, as neither Wolves has finished off his boots now, but KhaoticPurpose still has not backed quite yet, finishing up those back camps on the left-hand side, and then is going to be able to back and buy a good amount of power with that Warrior Tabby. Elevate, though, looking much more comfortable this time around, I would say, Toli. And for me, it comes down to the fact that they actually drafted some pressure in lanes and made it happen this time around. They had good pressure in the draft last time around, outside of the solo lane at least. but they never got a chance to actually be on the front foot, have the initiative.
The important factor is, like, you just can't get invaded without doing anything in response, and Elevate has been able to respond to the aggression in the duo lane with getting something in the solo lane, and that's the difference between, you know, being ahead or at least falling too far behind. We see the rotation from Kenshin, but he is left alone right-hand side. The oBoronic making the rotation. He's going to look for the freeze. He finds it on Chacho, finds the Kraken as well. It's a lot of damage. No escape. They're going to prevent the Cataclysm, but not in time. He's going to fall.
3 ultimates to pick up Chacho, but like you mentioned, he will fall totally. I don't think he knew oBoronic was coming around that backhand side. Lack of ward coverage for my guys spells the end for their support player. Gold Fury being positioned around right now by Elevate, though they don't have a whole lot of ultimates. Nice stun from Coviiii on DoctorL, putting in that long-range damage that Thoth does so well.
And due to the lack of vision earlier on from my guys, this is why we're going to see an early sentry ward from Chacho with that vision oracle, just to be able to position them around that solo lane side. It's been a lot of action between this mid solo lane action, and we see Chacho now, despite dying, he still has more available.
Looking for the freeze, but oBoronic's the one that finds it. Big damage on a KhaoticPurpose, who immediately jumps to the back line, trying to find DoctorL. Delnyy around the front side. KhaoticPurpose very, very low, as is Chacho. Reads the jump over the wall and finds him on the other side with the power cleave. Delnyy, nice play there out of the solo lane.
Transonics making the rotation, trying to turn the tides around, sacrificing the jungler, but not able to find a return kill quite yet on the side of my guys. It's going to allow Miechael Checo to get a free wave in on the left and be able to back. Let's see what he's going to pick up here.
Could be a Transcendence. We've seen quite a few Transcendence Anhurs as of late, but instead electing for this Ichabod, trying to box Transonics in lane with this pickup.
And this is what you want to do against the Izanami that goes for this Transcendence start, doesn't have lifesteal, doesn't even have Warrior Tab finished quite yet. This is a nice power spike play for Miechael Checo. The question is Transonics going to stay this extra wave after clearing it out? But look at this, the Gold... Oh no, sorry, it's the Oracles that's going to get started instead by my guys.
Yeah, they don't have the damage for the Gold Fury quite yet. Final Judgment still on cooldown for Coviiii. Chacho does have that no escape, but every set of purification is up for Elevate outside of DoctorL, but like I mentioned in the draft phase, that's probably the most important set of purification for Elevate because of the fact that DoctorL doesn't have that CC immune ultimate.
Between both Ares and the Hunbats, oBoronic's in a lot of trouble. KhaoticPurpose was thinking about diving here. Coviiii could look for the ultimate play, though. That wall will give him the distance to be able to land that ability, but instead letting the back go through, and whenever you do let that happen, that can give you some advantages elsewhere, which is why we see the speed buff potentially left vulnerable here, but Wolves can't make that rotation. He has to sit in the solo lane as there's a wave right there.
And right now, my guys basically evened up with Elevate. Elevate looking like a completely different team than we saw in Game 1. DoctorL in particular, instead of getting killed early on and then killed again early on and then killed one more time early on, actually looking comfortable on this Poseidon.
This is what happens when your team is the one that's going to be the aggressors. We saw the beginning action play onto Chacho. The freeze set up the Whirlpool Kraken. You're taking advantage of this early game Ares that only had the Traveler Shoes and the Watcher's Gift. Not too tanky quite yet. As we head back into the game now after this pause, we're going to see more action here. oBoronic is able to really set up the place here with 1 kill and 1 assist.
Chacho going for the meditation as a relic here. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I figured that he would have gone for the shell, knowing that he would be the early target up against the freeze Kraken combination out of the mid jungle for Elevate. Do you think that the shell would have been better and maybe saved his life, or do you think this meditation is a good pickup as well?
I think the meditation is going to set himself up a little bit better as soon as he finishes off some magical defense. He could even rush into a Bulwark of Hope right off the bat between this magical jungler, magical mid laner. You're going to have a lot of health, and that's going to synergize very efficiently with this meditation.
Miechael Checo has no idea the pain that's coming to him on his left-hand side. KhaoticPurpose and Chacho are here, jumped on immediately. The purification used, now going to get pulled back in by this no escape as it runs out. The Desert's Fury didn't quite have enough duration, and he's gonna fall on that left-hand side.
Right-hand side, though, a lot of action. Delnyy being able to barely whittle his way around that Odin cage outside that tier 1 tower, and unfortunately for Miechael Checo, he prematurely uses his Desert Fury, not in time to really prevent the no escape from pulling him outside the safety of his own tower. The teleport, though, onto DoctorL. The get shield.
They have no idea Transonics is there. KhaoticPurpose gets exploded, but Transonics pops out of nowhere and finishes off DoctorL. Chacho and Coviiii trying to help out the Hunter. Perfectly timed purification gets him out of that freeze. Good amount of damage from Shards of Ice.
Coviiii.
Final Judgment gonna find a home. Coviiii picks up oBoronic all the way down the lane. 5-4, my guys take the lead in kills.
Coviiii doing his best Kobe impersonation, hitting that ultimate from a distance, trading out 2 for 1 there. KhaoticPurpose sacrificing his life brilliantly. He wanted to find a lot of damage there with the Furious Monkey Bounce teleport onto DoctorL, but unfortunately didn't really respect the fact that oBoronic and Kenshin was right around the corner. He even jumped right back onto the Kraken. He wanted to somehow find some immunity frames there with a jump, but unfortunately mistimed it. But either way, my guy's getting the slight advantage here. Not too much compared to the last game. At this point, compared to the last game, they were up about 5,000 gold or so, but only 500 at this point.
Much better showing this time around from Elevate. Basically across the board, Kenshin has found some excellent engagements on this Geb, as well as some nice Geb shields, of course, as is usual for any support that's going to be playing Geb at this level. But again, for me, oBoronic and DoctorL look to be completely different characters this time around. Much more comfortable for oBoronic on this Ymir, which is a little bit surprising because, you know, he's used to playing in the middle lane. That's where he played all of last season. And he didn't look quite comfortable on that Naja because he could never get a lead. And then you put him on a Guardian that's completely different from the playstyle that he played all of Season 3, but looks like a much better player.
It's not just putting the Ymir onto oBoronic, it's also taking the Ymir away from my guys. And so that space control is going to heavily favor Elevate here. And this is why DoctorL hasn't been too pressured. The Ymir wasn't a big factor in the second game. So we're going to see more pressure in the mid lane from my guys, trying to look for, as we do see the claps coming out of oBoronic.
That's one of the best clap emotes. You know, the Ymir clap, just the above the head.
With the club as well.
Yeah.
Imagine the noise that he makes from slapping that big club against his hand.
I mean, especially with that skin, he's got all the tattoos. He just looks kind of goofy. They're cool tattoos, I guess, but I don't know.
He's a cool dude.
Chain onto DoctorL, who's immediately just erased. He is going to find the Kraken on a KhaoticPurpose, but the Dark Portal finds 2. No escape. Kenshin pulled back in. oBoronic, nowhere for him to go. KhaoticPurpose picks him up as well. Kenshin trying to roll out. Chains not quite available for Brochacho. 2 for 0. And that all starts off because Brochacho immediately finds 2 chains onto DoctorL, and he just exploded because the damage.
Transonics did a lot of damage with his portal ability as well. That's a huge cooldown. If you can hit that onto multiple targets, you're generally going to be tipping the scales into your favor. We also saw a lot of missed enhance and abilities from Miechael Checo. This time around, he did a good job timing his Desert Fury and his Purification beats, making sure that he wasn't going to get pulled in by the no escape. The Fear No Evil was not a factor for Miechael Checo, but he wasn't impactful in that team fight.
This is a big power spike moment for my guys. Look at across the board. A lot of items being finished, and very important ones at that. Brochacho blows DoctorL up there because he just finished off Pestilence, gets a little bit of extra power from that passive because of the aura of Pestilence. Hydra's Lament had just been completed for KhaoticPurpose, one of the biggest power spikes for Hunbats, because if you could find a crit after using an ability, it's going to do a bunch of damage with that Hydra's Lament passive, as well as that Bancroft's Talon pickup for Coviiii, just cheap boost of power for the mid laner. All of that equals an overwhelming team fight win for my guys and a Gold Fury because of it.
And they're not done yet. They want to try to maybe look for this Portal Demon. They're positioning themselves rather aggressively. They could look for some wards here. They do have some Oracles and a regular ward, but no Sentry to be able to get the offensive vision. We see KhaoticPurpose waiting for his speed buff 14 minutes into the game. My guys building off of their lead slowly. It's only about a 2,000 gold lead, but once this Portal Demon is going to start to get looked at, especially with Transonics making this rotation as well, this is going to start skyrocketing.
That tower just so low on the left-hand side that Checo feels like he needs to be there. Blink in from Cage, and the Cage from Wolves. The Kraken is good onto KhaoticPurpose, who's falling very, very low, trying to get away. Coviiii is able to find a kill there. KhaoticPurpose does fall, but the no escape. Kenshin right back in, and the Dark Portal's waiting for him. Coviiii able to find the kill.
And he's not done yet. Wolves setting up more damage from the Thoth. 3 members dead. Delnyy trying to peel. Transonics taking a lot of damage, forced to go into the Aegis, surviving that tier 2 tower. Wolves diving the tier 2. He wants Delnyy. There is no Lomberger. Finding the slow as well as the flames. Coviiii, he needs to hit 2 out of the 3. Only finds 1. He needs to find 1 more in hand, but nice jukes out of Delnyy. He misses the heal.
Later that same day, Coviiii finally finds the kill underneath the tower, and then taunts, and he might be dead because of it. No, he is going to be able to dash out just in time. Thought maybe oBoronic could have found him there with the wall. in that left side jungle. A little bit sloppy towards the end there, but the beginning of that engagement was entirely clean from my guys.
Absolutely. I think they got 4 for just 1 there, only losing KhaoticPurpose at the beginning of the team fight, but the job and damage was done initially by Wolves as he finds a beautiful blink ultimate, making sure that he traps those 2 Guardians that doesn't have that natural escape, and then the no escape coming out of El Brochacho set up the dark portal from Transonics. All the cohesion between my guys is just going to show why they're going to be a top elite team heading into the SCL.
Dark portal, or excuse me, Portal Demon getting pretty low there, but it is going to be secured by my guys. In fact, Coviiii and Brochacho immediately pop out of it, and they're looking at Kenshin. Bird Bomb onto him as well, but instead he cages off DoctorL. Freeze onto Coviiii. Little bit of damage onto him there. Kraken is going to blow up Wolves, though, who's left entirely alone. DoctorL turns it around on the solo laner.
And no ultimate from Coviiii going to connect that, but DoctorL still in a lot of trouble. He uses the Aegis to buy a little bit of time. KhaoticPurpose is here. Nice
shield.
Geb shield coming out of the support, keeping him alive a little bit longer during the whole time. Miechael Checo split pushing on the left. No escape coming out. Gonna pull in the Geb back into danger. Already finding 1 kill. Gonna find a second as well. Only losing Wolves thus far, but they lost their tier 1 and tier 2.
The fearless, the power cleave. There's the Aegis from Coviiii to guarantee that he's safe for now. Tries to go back in, and DoctorL hits him with the tidal surge, picking him up his 4th kill. Up, down, overhand smash. There's the kill onto DoctorL. Brochacho trying to chase down Delnyy, who is very low. Transonics is on this right-hand side. Chain over the wall is good. Nice heal from Delnyy onto the speed buff, but it's not going to be enough as KhaoticPurpose rotates back in, gets his 5th kill of the game.
Transonics trusting his teammates to be able to pick off that kill, finds the tier 1 tower on the solo lane side, and pushes the wave hard enough to be able to strip away this tier 2 as well. So despite that split push from Miechael Checo on the left, finding 2 towers of his own, my guys off of the victory in that last team fight find their own 2 towers, so negating all that time and effort spent by Checo.
Uh-oh, Transonics in a bad spot here in the middle lane. Tries to just trade out. He's got the Fatalis, and he's winning the trade. 1v2. Now Brochacho's here to help him out. Checo up, down, trying to find that knockup, but Transonics just shreds through and picks up his 5th kill. 5-0-5 for the Hunter. Kenshin fears no evil. 1 HP, the blink, the cage, ensures that Kenshin has no escape.
And we see the Bird Bomb coming up onto oBoronic as well. Dark Portal is not going to be on the mark. We see oBoronic using his ultimate to get off as much damage before he dies. It could set up Transonics' death as Delnyy Lawbringers in.
Finally, someone makes Transonics pay. There's the Fearless directly into the Whirlpool, and Coviii's got no answer for it. DoctorL makes his mid lane opponent pay. His 2nd kill there onto Coviiii so far this game, who had such great positioning on the Isis and has a lot more mobility on this Thoth. But I think it's just been a little bit too aggressive, possibly, with the dashes.
They found a nice pick onto Checo to begin things off with. The Fatalis from Transonics as well as the Aussie allowed him to win that exchange to begin things off with. And then we saw KhaoticPurpose using that Fear No Evil, trying to catch Kenshin, who was slightly out of position outside his tier 2 tower, but investing too many abilities onto this tanky Geb at this point, sitting at level 12 with the Hardwood Amulet, with the Sovereignty, with his own Geb shield being maxed out. It's very difficult to lock down this Geb quick enough compared to the early game, which is why we see that 3-for-2 trade.
And there, as a shell as well, looks like it was used to buy Kenshin and his team a little bit of extra time. That's classic Transonics there in the middle lane. I mean, just going in 1v2. And I think earlier on, maybe during the relegation period, Brochacho may not be there because he's not used to having to worry about that. DoctorL's got to worry about the damage coming out of KhaoticPurpose, but he's got a lot of support here, and the Kraken is beautiful. I don't even think oBoronic was needed there. DoctorL had that wrapped up all by himself. KhaoticPurpose gets punished for being a little too aggressive.
Have to be so careful against these double Guardians. Miechael Checo, though, now making the rotation, trying to trade out and get another kill for his team, but Brochacho able to walk away, afraid of the Thoth in the mid lane. Gold Fury has respawned. That could be in a position where Elevate could look to go for that objective. Transonics finding the tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. Checo trying to stop the back. He does!
He stopped the back, and then now the rest of the team is here. Tries to fade away, but you can't do it when you're crippled. Dark Portal's cute and all, but it's not going to matter as oBoronic puts him down with the big old club. 2 deaths there for my guys that just really shouldn't have happened.
No, not at all. KhaoticPurpose tried to dive 1v1, but it became a 1-on-3 in the mid-tier 2 tower, and unfortunately Transonics split pushing was about just a hair too shy being able to escape that. Coviiii ultimate doing a lot of damage, but not onto the Gold Fury. Now getting walled off is El Brochacho. Wolves jumping on in, doing a lot of damage onto everyone.
The shell there is popped, and Delnyy, he's going in, looking to find Brochacho, but Brochacho's running towards the rest of the team. Big no escape there, and Wolves finds two with the bird bomb. Checo cleans up Brochacho as Coviiii forced to dash away, but KhaoticPurpose is back and picks up oBoronic. Checo running for his life. Delnyy trying to get away, but the blink from Wolves is good. Checo returns it back onto him with that pillar stun, but not going to be enough to save his to knock down Wolves. 3 for 2. My guys turn it around. Really 3v5 there.
Elevate do grab the Gold Fury, so they're able to extend, or they cut the deficit rather, making sure they're not too far behind. And it was a nice Aegis coming from Miechael Checo, making sure that they weren't going to lose a fourth member there. Delnyy not able to hold on to his own speed buff. KhaoticPurpose is going to get credit with that. It was a nice revival timing from KhaoticPurpose, turning that team fight quite around. And we can't forget that no escape coming from Brochacho.
Huge. On top of that cage as well from Wolves, but that final judgment from Coviiii over the wall, finding both priority targets with no vision. I don't think that my guys had vision on that Gold Fury. Just understanding where the enemy team is going to be, and hits both Miechael Checo and DoctorL, and that's what allows my guys to play that fight aggressively, even with the numbers disadvantage.
And that's only a level 16 Thoth at this point in the game. Not even close to maxing out his ultimate. 3 points there invested. He has a lot of magical power between the Bancrofts and the route out to Hootie. Still has 2 more slots to be able to complete here. Wouldn't be surprised here if he looks for some even more aggression. Where do you think he's going to go here on the side of Coviiii?
You could go for something like a Book of Thoth. I mean, not only is it in your character's name, I feel like obligated to buy Book of Thoth every time I play Thoth in the middle lane, but just wanting for some extra damage. oBoronic needs some extra protection right now as he gets jumped on by KhaoticPurpose. Kraken gonna only hit 1. It's a great jump from Batz. Gets him out of there. No escape. 2 pulled back in. Final judgment hits both, but not enough to finish either one off. KhaoticPurpose taking a lot of damage from Miechael Checo. Delnyy not quite finding the mark with that Fearless, but a nicely timed blink gets him out of danger anyways.
And that's going to be a 1 clean pickoff for the side of my guys. They found the Portal Demon. They could look for the Fire Giant off of this, but Checo sniffs it out. He's level 18 with the red buff. He has Fatalis. He has the kiting potential to be able to do this. Fire Giant at about 50% health here. Brochacho going to look to zone out, and that's going to be successful.
He's going to. Miechael Checo just gives up that Fire Giant. 5 members of my guys, they've got it. They're walking around with it, and they're going to have to knock down these remaining towers in the mid and left-hand side of Elevate to expose those Phoenixes. Right-hand Phoenix is exposed, but they don't have enough of a lead to really try and knock it down. Even 5v5, even when they have the Fire Giant.
23 minutes into the game, 5,000 goal lead. It was actually about maybe the 14 to 15 minute mark the last game when they had this kind of a lead. So still building off of it, but Elevate can still hold on here. We were talking about the different levels of different deficits, and this is the point where Elevate are still not in a bad position here. They're not too far behind experience-wise compared to the last game, so their abilities are still going to be hitting very heavily here. DoctorL is actually 1 level ahead of Coviiii, so we're going to be seeing these Krakens just be able to absolutely decimate my guys, especially if the Aegises are on cooldown.
And we've seen a pretty good game from DoctorL out of the middle lane. Definitely a turnaround from his Zeus game in game 1 of this set. My guys really dominated game 1 of this set, taking it pretty handily in a quick surrender right around 20 minutes by Elevate. This time Elevate looking much stronger, looking like their old selves whenever they had a ton of success on Aware last season. At least 3 of these guys did, Miechael Checo and Delnyy, the new additions to the 3-man squad of oBoronic, DoctorL, and Kenshin. You mentioned that this deficit isn't too bad and that Elevate has a chance to fight back into this. Do you think they defend this tier 2 tower totally, or do you think they give it up?
They should look to give this one up, or at least look for some long-range poke. Maybe find somebody out of position with the Ymir wall, but I wouldn't like to see them invest too heavily into the tier 2 tower just to see what they can actually get away with. But between my guys splitting middle and this tier 2 in the dual lane, they have to really commit to defending one or the other. They cannot give up both here.
Wolves just trying to push down and put some pressure on the left-hand side. KhaoticPurpose blinks in, looking for DoctorL. Quick purification beats, and the Kraken, but it's jumped. No! It still hit KhaoticPurpose, and Checo picks him up because of it. No escape. Gonna pull back in Kenshin, but it's a good fight for Elevate.
And they're going to blink in the Cataclysm. Coviii's going to get picked off in the back. Dark Portal silencing out 3. Checo doing a lot of damage with his in-hands. But the cage coming from Wolves, delaying a little bit. The triple. Fearless, though, so far. Make that a double, actually. The jump from Checo, trying to find whatever he can in response. Finding off the 1 pick is good, but they want the second onto Wolves.
Wolves just juggled around. He actually somehow survives long enough to get that jump off. And the blink, the counter blink, he's out.
Delny's still not done, though. He wants to chase this out. Brochacho's going to find the slow onto the Ymir. What a great play between both of these soul laners. Barely able to escape the action. And that was so unfortunate coming on the side of KhaoticPurpose, because the fact that he has Blink and Purification means he's relying on using the beads to negate the Whirlpool Cripple effect just to be able to jump that Kraken, but that's 2 times already this game that he hasn't been able to do so efficiently enough.
KhaoticPurpose realized what DoctorL was going to do and reacted to it, but DoctorL was still deciding what to do. If DoctorL has been playing mid for years, maybe he Krakens instantly in that scenario and KhaoticPurpose jumps it, but KhaoticPurpose ends up playing himself, jumping directly into that Kraken. As Wolves is getting chased down, though, towards the end of that engagement, Transonics splits off and does secure that tier 2 tower in middle lane, as well as the one on left did fall during that engagement. So even though my guys do take a couple deaths in that engagement, they still are able to pick up both tier 2 towers, and only Coviiii and KhaoticPurpose are without that Fire Giant buff. Transonics, Brochacho, and Wolves still have it for another 20 seconds or so, so not going to be a whole lot of extra aggression on any Phoenixes or anything like that, but it does de-incentivize Elevate from contesting that Portal Demon.
Exactly. My guy's going to be able to utilize that portal for an additional minute if they want to buy some items and look to position themselves with some aggressive Sentry Ward control around this Fire Giant as it's about to respawn in the next minute. Elevate, they're down about 8 kills here, but they're not down too much gold, only about 6,000 gold. They have all their Phoenixes at this point in time. They have the control necessary between this double Guardian composition. They have the damage from DoctorL, as well as the control coming out of Delnyy, being able to peel for Miechael Checo.
Yeah, Delny's had a pretty solid game as well. DoctorL on top of the damage charts, but Delnyy right behind him on that tier out of the soul lane. 3, 3, and 6 for the soul lane tier. And again, I'm looking at oBoronic to start off this fight or to stop a fight potentially happening against Elevate if my guys want to aggress. With the Fire Giant being the focus here for my guys, you know they're going to be in the jungle, and these Ymir walls are going to be more impactful than ever.
We're seeing a lot of dancing around this Fire Giant as it's about to respawn in the next 12 seconds. My guys are all in position here. They don't really have too much aggressive wards around the speed buff here, but they do have one between the middle and the soul lane side. We actually see one inside that speed buff here on the side of Elevate, but it's only a regular ward. It's not a sentry ward to be able to counter this one.
And my guys grouping up, looking for the engagement, the blink. They've really been relying on the blink cages, and that's exactly what we see directly onto 3 members, oBoronic and DoctorL. No way out of that one. Fear No Evil directly onto the mid laner, who hits the Kraken, but it's not quite enough damage. Checo trying to handle Transonics on the backside, but is losing that trade heavily. oBoronic getting very, very low. He's going to fall to the hand of Brochacho. Coviiii cleans up Miechael Checo, and Transonics just decimating Kenshin with this Fatalis.
He's not done yet. He's going to chase to get to the end of the world. Lawbringer being used, trying to survive. Coviiii using that wall to extend the range of his abilities. The Furious Monkey Bounce not on the mark onto Delty. Not going to be able to teleport into that one, but with these 3 picks, my guys ignoring Fire Giant entirely. They want the W here. They could potentially end.
They don't have a whole lot of ultimates, though. In fact, they've got 0 waiting for them to try and push down that Titan. I think that's why you see them go for it. Blink, Fearless onto KhaoticPurpose, but he's still at his purification beads, and now Delnyy might be in some trouble. No Lawbringer. Luckily for him, my guys seem content to focus on that Phoenix for now, but the cage is ready to go, and the brawl is happening. Delnyy, no escape there. Jump onto Kenshin by KhaoticPurpose. DoctorL has respawned, which means oBoronic and Miechael Checo will be very, very soon as well. My guys get 2 Phoenixes, but Fire Giant still standing.
Wolves was thinking about committing to that left side Phoenix, but the rest of my guys wanted to disengage from that. They were thinking about the bigger picture in mind. With Delnyy dead for 40 seconds and everyone else from Elevate respawning, this gives a little bit of a window here for my guys to get this Fire Giant buff, to get more sustain, get more objective damage, just to be able to close out the last Phoenix and then maybe close out the game.
No chance to kill Wolves here. I mean, we saw 5 members wailing on him in the jungle and they couldn't find him. 3, not going to be enough to do it. Fire Giant is completed now for my guys, and they tried to re-engage, hoping to catch someone from Elevate out of position in the jungle, but Elevate a little bit too smart for that to happen.
My guys could still look for more pressure on the left-hand side with that Phoenix. They haven't completed every single item in the game here, obviously. Brochacho still can sell that Watcher's Gift, looks to finish that off. We see Coviiii with one empty slot. Now looking for more penetration here. Probably going to go into that Spear of Desolation. So that's going to be a lot of big magical power spike trying to synergize with that Rod of Tahuti.
And a little bit of extra cooldown as well, getting that dash up and off cooldown, allowing him to be a little bit more mobile and possibly a little bit more aggressive to try and find the stuns. He's done a great job of it thus far, sitting third in the player damage charts. Transonics has had an unbelievable game, 6-2-10 for the ADC for my guys, just chasing everyone down, second in the player damage charts, just behind his jungler.
And going for this crit with the Wind Demon and the Deathbringer, which is why we see Delnyy going for this Height of Nemean line. But unfortunately for the tier player, you really want to get the blink for the engages, so you're not going to have the thorns here, considering the fact that you already committed to the teleport as well when you started off the game. So not going to be able to really stick onto Transonics the way a true warrior would like to.
Soul Reaver is finished now for Coviiii as well. We talked about the Spear of Desolation going to be likely his 6th item if it gets that far, but that Soul Reaver can absolutely turn a fight instantly. Final Judgment could already basically 100-0 you, but with that extra power and the passives from Soul Reaver, it will 100-0 you.
Fire Giant on all 5 members from my guys with for an additional 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Mid Phoenix and right Phoenix still down for Elevate, so they have to worry about these fire minions. So this should give a little bit of a power play. My guys has to just wait for one person on the mini-map to defend one of those lanes.
Checo gonna take the shield from Kenshin, blink in from the Geb. There's the Fear No Evil onto oBoronic, who immediately drops very, very low. Delnyy into the back line as Brochacho pulls in a couple. Coviiii finishes off DoctorL. oBoronic falls as well. Delnyy doing his best on the backside as Wolves keeps Miechael Checo busy.
Oh, the damage!
Two-man stun from Coviiii, cleans up 2. Kenshin, the last one alive, and his former jungler trying to make sure that he can't even get to his fountain.
Wolves diving the fountain, trying to get the D aside. Transonics getting credited with that one. And my guys cleanly finding the 2 games out of this set for the first week of SCL North America.
We have yet to see the former world champions that are defending Obey in action quite yet. That's going to be next set, Tolly, but my guys looks like they are one of the best teams in the world right now.
So solid is my guys. KhaoticPurpose was so aggressive on this Hunbats. Very similar story compared to the first game when he was playing that Susanoo. He was able to make a huge impact, rotating, finding the Fear No Evils in the backline, being paired up with Brochacho on this Ares, which is why we see such great draft synergies coming out of my guys every single time.
And Coviiii just had an unbelievable set altogether. His Isis was on point, this Thoth as well. Lots of long-range damage, which is exactly what you want anytime you're selecting this Thoth. It's gonna be tough to ban my guys out, man. You can't give KhaoticPurpose Hisano, you can't give Coviiii him Thoth, you can't give Wolves his Odin or his Tyr, don't want to give Brochacho Ares. Transonics will play the whole cast, so it doesn't really matter what you give him because he's gonna farm you anyways. Difficult to deal with this team moving forward.
But Elevate did a good job switching between games 1 and game 2. You know, taking away that Ymir definitely helped them out in the long run, but giving Wolves this Odin was so problematic. These cages in the mid to late game just allowed so much pressure here. Everyone from my guys just dove that backline and focused DoctorL repeatedly. Now, it was a different story because obviously the first game DoctorL was just getting focused from the beginning, but he still survived in the later stages, which was a huge sign of improvement for Elevate.
No surprise that we have a replay for literally every member of my guys in this game. We just saw 5 replays from 5 different players, and they were all deserving. I really do want to give a shout out to Wolves because a lot of what this team composition for my guys was lacking was engage, and he took that and ran with it. He was the engage with those blink cages, really making a big impact for my guys.
And this is why we saw Elnyy trying to go for that blink tier, trying to match fire with fire there, but unfortunately he didn't have the thorns to really stick onto Transonics in the later stages of the game. He had the Height of Nemean line. It just wasn't enough. My guys on a tear. 2-0 clean sweep, getting 3 points in the first week of SCL.
Looking very, very clean. We got one more set coming for you, and it's going to be exciting. Obey, the defending world champions, formerly under Ymir. They're facing off against Clow and Era Eternity. We'll be right back with that set.